Hello, I'm Dr. Katy Sian and I work as a senior lecturer at the University of York. My paper entitled Rethinking Knowledge Production in Sociology, a critical analysis of the conceptual, the methodological and the institutional, aims to provide a critique of Eurocentric knowledge formations that currently dominate the sociological imagination. It examines the colonial underpinnings of the discipline of sociology and opens a series of decolonial questions that think seriously about the transformation of universities. This paper's main focus is on decolonising the sociology curriculum, and particular attention is placed upon mainstream sociology's misunderstanding of communities of colour. So it starts by questioning the very foundations of the discipline and offers a critique of its inherent Eurocentrism. Following on from this, I examine the ways in which such thought has continued to influence contemporary sociological understandings of the other, which, as I argue, remain locked into a culturally reductive lens. After mapping out these conceptual concerns, I explore the ways in which Eurocentrism is also manifested at the methodological level, particularly in the study of communities of colour, which, as I argue, are analysed for the most part through a colonial gaze. So here I question the very suitability of the methodological tools commonly deployed by social scientists and explore the possibility of developing alternative and decolonial ways of doing. Finally, to tie these points together, the paper reflects upon the institutional transformations required to enable a more diverse and inclusive sociology curriculum. A key finding of the paper is that sociology has been one of the major social sciences to have produced knowledge that subordinates and regulates non-European societies, both in a conceptual and methodological sense. This is perhaps unsurprising when we consider the beginnings of the discipline. Sociology emerged against the backdrop of a series of transformations, including the political, industrial and scientific revolutions that characterised much of the 19th century. And here we see the start of a new age symbolised by science, rationality and reason. This thought directly informed sociology, which became fundamentally concerned with developing a scientific or positivist analysis of modernity and its effects on society. So positivism really became the cornerstone of sociological thinking and doing, guided by empiricism, objectivity and universalism. Positivism can also be seen as the foundation of Eurocentric thought, deeply intertwined with colonialism, racism and sexism. It adhered to newfounded desires to generate hierarchies to group different communities. In this way, it mirrored 19th century Enlightenment ideas that sought to categorise non-white, non-Western peoples as inherently inferior. Mainstream sociology in many ways strengthens this narrow, racist, Eurocentric narrative, and more than often it reinforces reductive binaries between the West and the non-West. In this way, as my paper argues, mainstream sociological accounts can be seen to partake in epistemic violence, particularly when analysing or accounting for the formation of communities of colour in the West. Sociology today can therefore only ever represent a very limited view of the world. Race must be considered as a key component of the discipline itself and must be embedded within teaching agendas rather than just appearing as one session in a module. So race cannot be sidelined as a peripheral topic, but rather it must be integrated fully as a way to show students how it shapes the past, the present and the future. There must also be a commitment to broadening understandings and examinations of race beyond a Eurocentric lens to ensure that the voices and contributions of communities of colour are represented. Teaching race isn't just about simply making a few cosmetic changes here and there to the reading list, but rather it requires a deeper commitment to embedding anti-racism and social justice in the discipline, in the classroom, in the university and beyond.